Hello, I wanted to give you another quick update on the interface for the users on our stats. So this, what we're looking at here is the interface for the large stat. What we're going to do here is we're going to get this guy to communicate over to the controller, and then also to communicate with what we're calling, I guess, the tiny stat. This is the innards of the tiny stat, and this is what it looks like whenever it's actually in its container. And this is the box for this one, which still has more work to do on it. So when you start off, the user face asks you to basically that you need to set up the tie between this stat and the controller, and each controller comes with its own unique identifier. So you hit next, and right here it wants you to enter in that identifier that would have come with your controller. In this case it's AAAAB. And now it tells you we're connected. Tell me what zone you want this to apply to. So we'll pick 3. It'll always say OK if it's available. If that zone's already taken, it'll say not available. So we'll connect. So now this stat and the controller are actually connected. That temperature is correct, actually. There's a heater under my desk. So from here, you can see it's zone C, which I'll change that to a number. But that's the 3rd zone. And if you want to change the temperature, then you just hit these plus or minus buttons. So here you can change it to whatever. You can either go back or just go ahead and set it. And it takes you right back to your home screen. It may not be showing the colors very well, but everything that's in blue are things that I say that you can touch. The white is just for display only. So the plus and the minus take you both to setting what your desired temperature is, and back. Now we have a few other options. We can go into the menu, and you can actually reset this all the way back to a completely fresh device, no controller tie or anything. You can just drop the zone that you're currently assigned to. Or you can actually go and, like for the instance of the small stat that obviously has no interface on it, it needs to get updates on what do you want the temperature to be. And that's where this comes in. So if that is a fresh stat and it has no link to the controller, then you would go and assign that to a zone. So let's go and look for any unassigned stats. It's telling you just plug one at a time and it'll find it. So you hit continue. Okay, so now that stat is connected to the controller. And if you see, we're looking at, so 3 is not available because that's what this current big stat is on. So let's assign that tiny stat now to 2. So now it shows what current zone we're on, what the temperature is, how to change it, the menus, and then if you want to check all the zones, say we want to manipulate that tiny stat. Well, we currently have just one zone available that's not this one. So it just went out. This actually doesn't have a temperature probe on it yet, so it's showing 0. But what you can do is just change the temperature of that remote stat now, and you can set it. And now it's set in the system, so if you wanted to come and see what it is, it should have saved it. You can actually, this is how you would also release that tiny stat from the system as well if you needed to do that. So you want to move it to a different zone, something along those lines. You can just hit release. And now that is no longer connected to the system. So if you were to go back into your zones, it would say there's no other zones available to look at. That's pretty much the gist of it. I can show you, for instance, if we reset this stat. Now we're back to the main screen. So that should give you an idea of, I guess, kind of how I'm thinking about the layout looking. I'm going to make a couple of more tweaks to it, but if you see any changes you'd like to make, let me know. Thanks. Bye.